Okay, we have reached the last interview of the day. I think. I never know. Somebody else may walk up and we'll be doing another interview, but this is the last scheduled interview. Let's go with that. So I want to introduce Vlad, and I'm going to let you completely introduce and tell everybody about yourself because you have kind of a unique business model.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Thank you, Lance. Yeah, my company is called Restoration Inbound. We started working with mold remediation companies years ago, like 5 years ago, actually. It's when I got my first mold client, and I didn't know nothing about the industry. And then basically after a while, I discovered actually there's a bigger industry than just mold, and it's restoration. And there's something I call the big four, which is mold, water, fire, and bio are kind of the main four people do, and there's all sorts. And yeah, I've just been learning as much as I could. And we've tried all sorts of different models, everything from pay per lead to monthly agency models in terms of marketing. And we're just here to help people grow. I like to say I want to be a scientist of helping restoration companies grow, and so I'm always looking to learn.
So you more of a marketing company at this?
Yes, sir. Yep. Marketing. We like to consult people on the sales side. We like to connect people to estimators, et cetera. But marketing is where we specialize in,
So
especially
you're like
Google.
facilitating the whole process. But
Hmm.
on the marketing side, are you actually taking over the marketing and doing it for individual companies so they become your clients?
Correct. Yep. We go in and we optimize the website. We've actually built some AI to help optimize the websites even now, which is exciting. We can get to that. And then yeah, we run the ads, we write the content, social media, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we talked just before we went on here about right now we're broadcasting live over 11 different platforms,
Hmm.
several social media platforms, and the rest of streaming TV.
Hmm.
And we found that works, putting
Hmm.
it out all over the place so people can get it in the flavor they want it. And I'm
Hmm.
assuming that's kind of what you're doing.
That's exactly it, actually. What I've noticed, Lance, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well, right? There's different audiences, and also state to state, depending on the restoration remediation business, different marketing channels will have different levels of success. So, some even in some regions, some people like to use Angie's more. In other regions, they like to use more Google, Service Direct, etc. So we actually like to look at the whole gamut of options and then find what's best for the company in the region and the market as well.
Do you work with reviews also?
Yes. Reviews are so. What's interesting is, right, you'll hear a lot of people talk about how they're a marketing company and how you should be marketing, etc. The biggest thing I think a lot of people don't talk about is how you got to position yourself to be marketable first. You gave, Lance, you gave a great presentation on how you've got to think about marketing outside the box, right?
Mhm.
One thing you got to think about is differentiation. And I think reviews are one of the best ways you can do that by getting as many reviews as you can. A lot of people don't talk about reviews enough, in my opinion. They just start the campaign and they don't have the groundwork set.
Right. Well, the presentation I did the other day, I think you were in there for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I talked about you can market to a population and you're going to get all kinds of clicks, but if you're not getting anything beyond the click, you're marketing to the wrong group. These aren't the buyers or the people really interested in your service. Something just caught their eye and they're going there. That costs you money.
Yes, exactly. Right. And a lot of times people don't do the groundwork well enough to actually get ready to convert the buyer. They don't know where those clicks are going. They don't know how to retain the clicks. And then, most of all, actually, the thing also we find is that people who don't have a lot of reviews, that also means they probably don't have a process after when they get the client actually and following up. That's a whole different thing. We found that some clients that are great at sales, we can even do a worse marketing job and they'll still make even more money because they're just better at the sales side. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And truthfully, the marketing piece of it is what I think we are the weakest at in this industry because we have people that are very passionate about the cleaning side of it, the restoration side of it. But when it comes to that concept of marketing, it's not a face to face marketing, it's face to region, face to area. And you need to know how to do that and navigate it. And it keeps changing.
Yeah.
As soon as you figure out, Google's changed the analytics again.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Google has changed it. They just rolled out Google Analytics 4 this year, right? So Google is constantly changing, and Google now is obviously with AI, right? They're scared that things are going to change. People actually found us through AI now, so people are searching through AI, and I imagine in a couple of years, people are going to be finding mold and remediation and restoration projects through AI as well, without a doubt. Now that it can give you even more customized answers. You know.
Well, I knew we were in trouble a few years ago and I think I mentioned this to somebody earlier. In my office, I have an Alexa device.
Yeah.
Next to Alexa, I also have one of the Google devices.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how I phrase it, I can get them to talk to each other.
Oh man.
Google, say hello to Alexa. Hello,
Yeah.
Alexa. How are you? I'm fine.
Yeah.
And they start conversing. I'm like, I got two robots talking in my office. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But that's AI, and it's becoming more and more entwined in everything that we do now.
Yeah, one of my favorite sayings about AI is if the internet was about information, AI is about action. And that's the one thing AI is going to get better and better at every year is making everything more actionable when it comes to writing content, when it comes to people searching in a much more specified way, right? And it's scary for people like me who know Google so well and have mastered, getting, 10x, 20x returns on Google because, the CEO, Sam Altman of OpenAI, he says, who wants to look at 10 blue links with advertising everywhere, right? People would rather have much more personalized searches. But that's part of the industry. It's part of the game. And it's actually what makes it exciting for me, believe it or not, is that things are changing and you can always get a more competitive advantage.
So as far as the software and computer side, where do you see yourself? Are you like a front end guy? Are you a developer? Where are you in there?
Yeah, when it comes to marketing, we're definitely more back end, right? So we're definitely more lead generation. We're definitely more building things out, right? So we actually use some of these AI softwares and we integrated it. In fact, I can show you after this podcast what we're working on. Pretty cool stuff. We're actually starting to use AI vision right now to go through a website and actually tell you, simple updates that you should be making, such as the phone number, is too small. There's no clear call to action. Maybe the copyright is out of date. Maybe that there's bad texts, right? So, like I said, AI is getting better and better at spotting areas of improvement, right? Eventually, it's going to make improvements for us, and eventually, it's probably going to do everything for everybody. Which is
the latest thing now, and NVIDIA, one of the leading AI chip manufacturers out there, or cards. They're now talking about having AI. I'm trying to think of the wording that they use. I just saw a special on this where the AI itself is going to be enhancing itself. Up until recently, Chat GPT that was out there was only brought up to date of, I think it was 2022. That's where they stopped the educational process of it. Well, now it's going beyond that. The new chips are going to allow the cell phones and smart devices to run without the internet. I mean, that's the scary part, to have that much information localized on your device.
They're going to be self-learning. And so, we just went from Chat GPT 3.5 to Chat GPT 4. Once we get to 5, so it's not official yet, but from some of the interviews I've watched, one thing that the CEO hinted at was actually having it memorize your previous prompts to customize it even further to what you're doing. So it's going to be self-learning both from everybody else, was what it's doing today, and then also on your past history. And it's going to be even more powerful. So it's these are exciting times, and also a little scary.
It's exciting. I mean, I can see telling my phone to call my daughter, and it says, "No, I'm not going to do that now. She was angry with you at your last call." I said, "No, I really want to tell you. No, I think you should wait. I don't want to argue with my phone because AI is telling me things I should and shouldn't do." And we're not quite there yet, but that may not be such a leap from here.
No, 100%. You can, even today, you can use ChatGPT to talk to it, and it will talk back to you. You can use it for all sorts of advice, right? And that's just 4.0. And if you guys haven't checked out 4.0 and paid for it, I recommend you check it out. It's only $20 a month. I'm not paid to say that, right? So, but it's a great version, and 3.5 is free.
I'm using 4.0, so
it's phenomenal. And then, so your listeners should check it out as well. And you can talk to it, and you can even start, you can give it a prompts, right? So you can give it a prompt of, hey, I'm thinking about X, right? keep responding until I say that I think we've covered the topic well. So you can say something like, I'm thinking about giving a speech at the Experience conference. I'm thinking about giving a speech on water remediation, right? What do you think the topic should be about? And then you just go back and forth with it. So there's all sorts of great stuff today where you can work with it. What we're talking about is, years later when it gets even more powerful, and who knows, right? It's gonna go from software to hardware, and that's when things really become
Well,
yeah.
it's already happening.
Yeah.
There's I just saw it on, I was watching something on TV, and they were showing a new AI robot that was actually built by one of the car manufacturers, not Honda.
Mhm.
It's a foreign one.
Not Tesla.
No, wasn't Tesla. I can't remember the name, but it's one of the European car manufacturers.
Mhm.
And this thing was terrifying.
Mhm.
It had the look and movement of a person,
Mhm.
but it was making its own decisions.
Mhm.
Like if something was in its way, it would move it out of its way.
Mhm.
It would recognize what was happening, what the person talking to it wanted. And this was in real time.
Yeah.
And, no, we're not at the Arnold Schwarzenegger style.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Everybody's talking about it.
Of course they are. But, it's something that we can't hide from either. We need to embrace it. We need to understand it. And we need to make sure it doesn't get out of control.
Yeah, 100%. I think embracing it is the first move, because once you embrace it, then you can understand it. And once you understand it, then you can make sure it doesn't get out of control. And I would recommend everybody out there you could use first of all, you can use AI to write content for you, right? If you have different ideas. One of my favorite things is you write down the top 10 questions you wish your clients already had the answer to, right? You can have AI write all the answers, right? And then you edit it, right? But basically, once you get past those basics, right, we're talking about the next level, and it's just speeding up ahead. It's ChatGPT, by the way, officially is only 1 year old, right? So that's the crazy part. The good news is today, still sources like people are still Googling, right? So Google is still a very powerful source, right? And so this stuff is still fairly predictable, and you still can get great returns. I think what's going to happen is the competition level is going to start getting smaller and smaller, and it's just going to be a lot higher stakes, so to speak, as time goes on, because I don't think people want 10 different solutions, right?
Right.
People probably want maybe one or two or maybe three companies max, right?
Well, I know I've talked with a lot of people, and even some of the people here from my presentation on marketing, and they're like, I'm not dealing with AI. It doesn't get involved with what I do. They're so wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
A simple example is, again, an Alexa device. You ask it a question about snow blowers, and 10 minutes later, you pick up your phone and all you see is ads about snow blowers and shovels.
Yep. We're targeting.
Now, that's not a coincidence.
Nope.
That's happening because someplace out there in the mist, Alexa knew that information. It was translated or transferred someplace, and now you're being given that information based on what you were requesting. So it's all connected.
Yeah, 100%. And you're talking about retargeting, right? And so most likely, right, you've been tagged on a pixel, and basically,
Right.
as time goes on, right, what's going to end up happening is hopefully these answers are going to get better and better and better. And that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for the side of good, right? As these things become more customized for our preference, right? Not more customized for these AI companies, which have, insane amounts of power. But what's even cooler also now that I've just seen, because I go to some of these, I'm from Seattle, right? And ChatGPT, OpenAI actually is Microsoft's, from Seattle. So basically they have some AI conferences and tech events over there. They've even got smart devices now that will use AI to talk, like toys even, right? And they can talk to children, right? Forget about, having a little, Toys R Us Woody doll where you pull on a string and it says something. It just goes back and forth all day. So you can, this stuff you can integrate with whatever you want. You can have little marketing materials out there about your company, and it can educate people, right? So I'm excited for these types of things that are really on the cutting edge.
Are you familiar with SoundHound?
Tell me more.
SoundHound is a company that is running all AI, but they just contracted with, I believe it was White Castle, Chick-fil-A, and
yes, I have heard of them. Yes,
and they are doing all of the now online, not online, on-site ordering at the drive-ups.
Yes, for drive-throughs.
To AI.
Yes,
and they're processing your orders.
Yes,
and that's just the latest thing that's out there. You don't have a choice. You're now
Yeah.
going to interact with artificial intelligence just to order a chicken sandwich.
Yes. And there's another company called Donuts that's on the rise. That's something similar to that.
Mhm.
That's going to democratize it. They're also working on AI for just your front desk, just an admin, right? You call, right? They'll reroute different calls. So this stuff, I think, a year from now is going to be closer than ever. I think maybe even a couple of years we'll start seeing it more and more and more.
So
Yeah.
now that you've educated and terrified people watching this, how can they get in touch with you if they want to go to your website?
Yeah, restorationinbound.com. You can see our clients' testimonial videos. You've got contact information on there, or you can find me, Vladimir Katumian on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help. The first thing I like to do is I really like to mastermind with other people and connect them to different resources. I don't think, we don't like a cookie cutter approach. So I really think that based on different people's goals, geographies of where they're located, that's how we like to tailor campaigns. Even Google ads are not for everybody, right?
Sure.
Et cetera. So yeah, that's how you can get in touch with me. Just go to restorationinbound.com.
Appreciate you taking the time.
Always an honor. Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.